pictures in between so that, we'll have nice engagement.
No problem. Okay. We are now live. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Take it away.
Yes. Again, we back for a new Devfest for GDG Agaba. Hello, everyone. Hello, Deepa. It's nice to have you. It's really big, very big, amazing experience to have you, and you really did a great job for your preparation and your what we can say in English. It's for your generosity to what we can share and what we can talk and about the event topic. It's really amazing to have you today. Thank you so much for you basically to join us for GDG Agaba and Women Tech Ambassador. So welcome for the fast, and please, Mike, it's yours. You can start.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good evening from wherever you are from. I'm just going to go share my screen. Let's go here. Give me a thumbs up if you see it. So I might kind of ask you some questions in between, and if you're okay with it. So hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much, Mona, for having me here. It's a pleasure being at JDG and Women Tech Makers. I'm a Women Tech Makers ambassador too. So let's get started with right away with unlocking Angular and AI match made in heaven. Let's see if it's match made. Okay. So little about myself. Who am I? My name is Deepa. I'm a self-taught software engineer. Traditionally, I come from a test world, but then I self-taught myself. I do a lot of stuff around development these days, and then I'm a Google developer expert in web technologies. And I'm also an ambassador at Women Tech Makers. So I've been an ambassador for about 3.5 years now. I also run GDG San Jose in California. So that's about me. And a little fun fact about me is I'm an avid coffee drinker. So if you're around in the Bay Area in San Francisco, let's catch up. So before we begin, has anyone used any AI tools? If you can, please put it on the chat. And then Mona, please help me out here. If anybody has used any chat to no AI tools, I'm pretty sure people would have used ChatGPT or, I'm pretty sure they might have used. So I am not seeing a screen. However, I'm assuming that, you have used some AI tools. So there are some popular tools here, right? So if you have, I'm not sure if you have used NoteGPT. I use it extensively. It's a free stuff where you can put in a YouTube link and it'll give you a summary. So, if there is a caption or if there is caption enabled, then you would get it. So there's Devin AI for creating for coding, but it's not that great. I've tried it. And then you have Midjourney for creating images. Gemini, we'll be talking about it. ChatGPT, we all use it extensively these days. And if you are using Facebook products, any of the products, you will see Facebook AI too, which is called Llama. We'll just start off with, though this agenda looks very simple, we have a lot to cover in this session. So what I have done in this part is I'll be talking through these sections, and I'll be taking after each section. So make sure that you ask away, right? So little assumptions that I'm making here. You must have used HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I'm not going to be talking a lot about JavaScript classes, methods, or asynchronous functions and all those stuff, right? And you must have created at least a vanilla JavaScript. Should have used Node.js. If you have not used Node, probably this, if anything in these slides is totally new to you, maybe watch it over, but then I can provide you resources at the end so that you can go take a look at it and get yourself started. So if you're new to TypeScript, I also have a blog. It's TypeScript 101, and it just gives you a basic overview of TypeScript, right? So to begin with, what is Angular? It is an open source web framework written in TypeScript for building single page application, and it's a framework provided by Google, and it's more of a toolkit for building web applications where you can organize and make your code easy, make your code and make it dynamic and interactive. So that makes it easier, right? So there are a lot of tools out in the market, but Angular, we'll talk about it in a moment. It's mainly for single page. Anybody, if you don't know what is a single page application, it's nothing but it loads a single page and updates it dynamically as the user interacts, right? So this is, in a very small nutshell, what is Angular? So have you guys seen one of these? Can you put it in chat? What do you think? Is Angular JS and Angular are the same? If you have any thoughts about it, please put it in the chat, and we'll see. I'm not sure. I cannot see any screens from here. But then, what do you guys think? Do you think it's the same? Now, let's see whether it's same or not. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. This is we have to talk about this. We have to take a little history lesson here. So, just to begin with, Angular started a long time back. It's about more than 15 years. It's going to be about 15 years. It started off in 2010 as Angular JS. And if you see, there is a gap between 2016 and 2017. This is when Angular, it was initially supported fully by JavaScript. And then, between 16 and 17, what happened was Angular team was thinking, oh, no, it's very hard for us. So let's try to move it to TypeScript so that it's highly typed language. And understand that if you know JavaScript, its TypeScript is very similar. It's just that more strictly typed language. We'll see in one of the demos about it too. So while Angular, 2 and 3 were coming, there's no 3. If you notice it, there's no Angular 3 here. So that's when in Angular 4 they completely said that okay, we are going to support this. So they still supported Angular JS. And now we have a lot of, after that, this framework became more robust with a lot more features. And then today we have about Angular 19. There's also 19, which is not stable, but then 18 is the most stable version one, right? So just to give you, what is it, right? So it's a framework. We will be talking about data binding. Data binding is something that Angular started right from the beginning, and it's two-way. We'll talk about what is two-way data binding. And to begin with, AngularJS started only on the client side. I think a couple of years ago, Google stopped supporting AngularJS. So if you see anything in the market, there are still people use AngularJS too. So the support is ended, but there are applications that still runs in. If you go to an older company, you might still see it, right? And then Angular, it was released in 2016, completely rewritten in TypeScript, and it's component-based. What is component-based? We'll talk about it in a moment. And one good thing is it supported mobile and low-end devices, right? So this is something. Understand that AngularJS is not equivalent to, strictly not equivalent to Angular, right? So just to give you an overview, who uses this? If you go to madewithangular.com, you can see a lot of websites out there that are built with Angular. Almost all applications inside of Google, mainly Google GCP, uses Angular. And then apart from it, Weather Channel, PayPal, bigger companies, larger companies use Angular. So why is that they use it? So if you want to create enterprise scale applications, that's when Angular comes into play. and you can create a single page application. If you guys don't know anything about progressive web applications, I have a lot of videos out there on YouTube. You can go take a look at it. So and also, initially, to begin with, AngularJS did not support server-side rendering, but then Angular supported it later. So, and like I said, it is used for mobile development too. So just to give you a stat, it's about, I think I picked this thing from last night. So Angular stats for the past 5 years, there are about 3.5 million downloads so far. But if you see, there are spikes for Vue and React in between. During the, I think, last year or 2022, there was a spike on Vue. I don't know why people started using Vue. But then if you see, similarly, whenever there's a dip in React, there's also a dip in Angular too. So it's when that, people have started, but consistently Angular is being used for a while now, right? So now we are going to be talking about core essentials of Angular. We'll talk about installation. And for the time's sake, I'm going to be covering only core essentials here. So I'm not going to be deep diving into so much into details. So we'll talk about the architecture, and then we'll talk about the core concepts too, right? So before we begin, how do you install Angular? That's the first question. So Angular CLI. Does anybody know what is a CLI is? If you know, please put inside the chat. CLI stands for command line interface, where you can install it from your terminal or your, what do you call that in Windows, command prompt, I guess. So what you do is you follow, once you have Node installed, you follow these steps, right? I have it's just that there's a little, if you do these commands, there's a small difference between Angular 18 that has come out and the previous version. So if you want a previous project folder setup, then you need to use this flag called as no standalone. We'll see that in a moment, right? So when you install it, when you run this, currently your application will look like this on the when you do ng-serve or npm start, whatever you're using it, because it takes in both. So because we're using Node packages here, it'll either way start it. It can run in localhost, right? So once you run this, you will have a project folder structure like this. I'm going to show you a demo in a moment, but then just bear with me. Why I'm showing this is because we need to focus on this. So if you open up the folder structure, you will see at the bottom, you will see TypeScript configuration. So understand that browser does not understand TypeScript. It only understands JavaScript. So for you to convert all your TypeScript code into JavaScript, you need to have these configuration files, right? It comes with it, so you don't have to touch this. And then let's take a deeper look inside of inside the app folder, right? And if you see any program starts with main, that's your entry point, right? And then if you look into the next one, when a main function is called, what happens? It goes into index.js. Inside of index.js, we'll see in a moment as what is this app root, which is like a HTML tag, right? It is nothing but Angular framework looks for this particular tag, and then it replaces it with the rendered output from this app.component. This one gets routed to app.component.html, right? And then there's something called as app.config.ts. This was the newer change. Earlier, it was something else, which we'll talk about. Here you give how to assemble your application. And here it gives you providers or nothing, but how do you define your dependencies that you should be instantiating, right? So just give me a minute. Let's go to, I'm going to share my screen again. Stop sharing, press it, share screen. Hopefully it shows up. This is where I wanted the Chrome tab. How do you select this thing? And okay, I have so many things. So I think I should do, I don't want to do entire screen window, probably, maybe. No. Okay. I got it here. I think I got it. Let's see. Oh, no, yes, this is, can you see my screen here? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Uh,
It's code.
Stack Blitz.
Yeah, it's VS Code. Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, this is not VS Code. Sorry about that. Let's see. Hang on. Where am I? Did I lose you? Okay, no, not this. Where is my browser? Hang on. Window. Okay, StreamYard. I think I have to share the entire stuff. That's okay. If you see my notes, please don't. I can't remember everything, guys. I am not a robot, so I have notes.
No problem, dear. No problem.
So if you see, this is the website that I wanted to show, made with Angular. You can go take a look at it. Oh, I didn't know that Indian Railways uses Angular too. So here is the checklist. This is from an older version. I have used this extensively in my previous talks. So this is the older version of Angular. If you see here, there is a module, app.module. This is what I was trying to say. So if you go here, there is app.module. Here is your main.ts, which bootstraps the app module, which goes in here and checks for your app root. This is coming from the component.ts file. If you go here and see it, we'll see this in a moment in this. Understand that this is something that changed in Angular 18. So if you see here inside, I don't want to take, see if you see here declarations and then imports, right? Previously, whenever Angular had to, if everything gets called inside of this app.module, right? So, but then if you go to the latest one, I don't remember. Let's see here. Okay, this is the basic one. Sorry for that. There are too many demos. So if you see here, I'm serving it. This is something that's different. If you see here, this is config. Here it just gives you providers. Like I said, how do you install your dependencies? This is where it's given. Here it's app.module. So if you want to change it, if you go to a company where, don't freak out, it's the same. It's just that there's a little bit difference here. If you go inside the app.component, here you will see the imports. Whereas in here, you saw the imports here. So don't freak out. It's a whole, it loads all the imports in app.module, but here you're just abstracting it at a component level. So why did Angular team do this? Because they could, it's for performance reasons, right? So they, to make sure if you have so many components, then this is how it will be. So just let's take a look. When I run this, you will see something like this. So if you see here, let's inspect this. If you go here, body, you see here, although we did not give anything inside this HTML, there's nothing, right? You have only basic app, which is what you will see it on the tab. And then it doesn't say, where does this main.js come from? It comes from here. This gets converted through these guys. And then if you go here and see, this is the thing, and it gets served from there. This is what is there. This is when you create this is by default, you will get this. You can change this. We'll see that in a moment too, right? This is how it is. And every component will have a CSS. You will have a HTML. You'll have spec.ts is nothing but a testing file. Anything if you want to add the test for your component, then you can add that. And then here is what I said. There's different configuration that changes. And then if you have different routes, for example, you can go, if you have, for example, gdg github.com/whatever chapter you want to go. Or if you want to go, for example, what comes to my mind is if you want to go to github.com/ my name SDK Deepa, then you would go there. Or if you want to go deeper, like a homepage, about page, you give all these routes here, right? So that's something. I'm going to stop sharing here and then switching gears a little bit. Where is, come on. Okay. This is what I really want to. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to switch stuff here so that okay, you're right here. We saw the previous demo and then we saw how the app.config.ts changed in the newer version, but understand that not every company will have this right away, right? So that you need to know and don't freak out if you see something different. Any questions so far? If you have,
No, there's no question.
okay,
Sana already it's answer about CLI.
okay.
Before, yeah, and no question for now.
I'm gonna let's deep dive. If there's no questions, because there's a lot of content, so I want to make sure that people understand. So this is the architecture of Angular. So if you see here, it's divided into different parts like components, template, and then there is a directive, service, and then module, etc. Right? We're not going to be talking a lot, but then we will just cover up, just for an analogy's sake. Think that Angular, this is a house. Your house is Angular application, and each room is a component, right? And then for your rooms to be decorated with furnitures and decorations, you use something called as a template. And then imagine that you have a supply room where you store all the tools and materials to either to maintain your house or to build something inside of your house. Then you would use something called as the injector. And the module, the directive is a special tool or attachment that is added to your decoration. For example, if you have a custom window where you can, I'm not too sure if there are Wi-Fi enabled custom window blinds. If this is more of a special tool that would modify the appearance or the behavior of your room, right? So this is something with a directive. And then finally, module is nothing but the blueprint of your house. So very vague. It's not, it is very complex, but we'll talk about property binding, event binding, and all. But just to give you a set the stage, understand that components, Angular architecture is like you see a house where components are your rooms, templates are furniture, and beautifying your house. And then injector is where supply room, what do you want, you can go and fetch it. Module is the blueprint of your house, right? So that's about it. And this is the architecture. So to begin with, before we start the core concepts, Angular follows an architecture that strictly doesn't adhere to model view controller or model view model as well. Those are the patterns that it does not strictly follow that. However, it follows component based. Traditionally, we use MVC where if there's view is nothing but your UI, and then if you click on something, for example, if you submit a form, you click on submit button, and then the controller is your backend where it just it controls or sends the request. APIs that sends the request, and model would be something, your database fetches your login details and presents it on the UI. So this is the regular architecture, but Angular is influenced by it, but it does not strictly follow this, right? So it follows something called as components. What is a component, right? If you see here, this is delta.com, again, built with Angular. If you see all these arrows that I'm clicking onto, would be each one of them would be a component, right? Having said that, its components are basic building blocks of UI, right? And it defines a class that holds application logic and data, right? So how do you define a component? If you see here, and this is, if you see at component here, it's a decorator. It's a TypeScript concept. It's not a Angular concept. It's TypeScript. It is a special kind of declaration where you can attach it to a class, a method, a parameter, something like that, right? It's a special kind of declaration that you're going to be attaching with. Here, if you see the key value pairs, it takes in selector. Selector is nothing but your HTML element that you given. Here, I've given it as app root. So whatever is there in that inside that particular selector, it'll load up that. And then this is what is different here. So if you see here standalone true, this is what comes along with every component in Angular 18. So it can be turned off. You don't need to use this, but at the same time, Angular team says that it's preferably good to use this flag as true. And the imports, like I said, if anything, any imports that you want to add to this particular component, you add it here instead of app.module.ts, right? And then understand that every component will have a HTML and CSS, right? So if you're creating a small component, a header component, it'll have its own HTML and styling for it. So it's like small, if you're trying to think in terms of vanilla JavaScript, it's a small application by itself, very, very small. So you have, for vanilla JavaScript, you would have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together, right? So it's something like that, but it's for every single component, right? And here, like I said, every component is mapped to one template or HTML file. And then how does it render? Based on those key value pairs that we were talking, right? So now, when we are talking about rendering, how does data binding happen, right? Angular supports, like I said, two-way data binding, right? So it supports two-way data binding where it can flow, the data can flow from component to view and view to component, right? So how does data binding happen? There are two ways data binding can happen, right? One is through interpolation. If you know JavaScript, if you know string interpolation, so this is how you would, for example, you could give the username like this inside of curly braces, right? So that's your interpolation. And then property is here. We are setting up the user.email data property to be used as a value here. So that's a property that you can use. And then you can also use class and style too, but these are some of the examples. And event and data, two-way data binding is something like this. For example, if you have a, if you want to use a click event where this click calls a function called cook potato, right? So then it calls in this function, and then it changes in the view, or it is from view to component. If you see here, the previous one was from component. The blue buttons are, I don't know where that flag went. Actually, I added that. So the blue ones is from component to view. The yellow ones are supposed to be from view to component, right? So if you see here, we are using something called as ng model. What is this? We'll talk about it in a moment, right? When we talk about directive. So data binding, if you see here, I said TypeScript is strictly typed language. So if you see here, I'm giving inside a component, basic, very simple, and you're exporting the component. This is not a, this is JavaScript. If you have done JavaScript, and if you have coded in JavaScript, this should look familiar. However, here the name is taken as a string and it says Angular developer. However, if you go to your HTML file and you say, hey, enter, if there's input box, and you say, hey, enter your name, and it takes in the name. Here we are using ng model. Just give me a moment, I'll talk about it. And then what it does is it gives a name here. If the user tries to add a number, it won't work, right? So the error handling has to also be taken care, and understand that ng model takes the name and displays it inside the paragraph tag. Okay, so now coming to directive. Directive are, what is it? It comes with the metadata. This is what I was telling, that if you want to have beautify your custom blinds or something like that inside the room, right? So that's where it's like directive decorator is equivalent to component director plus template features. So for example, if we I'm not going to be talking in detail about this, but understand that here we are using a directive, and then when on mouse over, the color changes, and when the user leaves, the color becomes black. So those kind of things you want to give, you can give it using directive. And there are common directives. You have ng model, and ng if, and then ng for. Mainly these not derivatives, directives are used to change the appearance of element, and you can add or remove elements dynamically. And you can also handle the user interactions. So for example, the one that I showed earlier, the ng model that we use, where the name gets displayed, right? So ng model is mainly used to connect view and model in the MVC architecture. So understand that these are directives that can be used to beautify your house, right? So here is an example where the user is asked for username, mobile number, and then languages, and it gets the ng4. And note that there are 3 types of directives: structural, attribute, and component. I'm not going to be talking so much in detail, but understand anything that starts with an asterisk is a structural directive, where it can change the structure of the DOM, right? So here, for example, it loops through the language variable here, and then it takes one from the list of languages, and then when the user selects it, it puts it in the form. So understand that this is a structural directive. There are 3 types to it. We are not going to talk more into it, but understand that this is what it is, right? Then we'll talk about service. Service is, we will be making a service call with the API that, to an API, and we'll see it in the demo shortly. And here, if you're using a service, you would use something called as injectable, right? So here it says provided in root, right? This indicates that the service has to be, should be available application-wide. So this is something, and here we'll be using one of the service from Google Generative AI, right? So understand that injectable is part of Angular core. It comes along with the CLI when you install it, right? And there is something called as observable from RxJS. It is also core of Angular. And then if you see what is observable is something, if you have an asynchronous function, right? In JavaScript, you want to handle a promise, that's when you would use observable. Not getting into detail, but understand that it's there, right? Any questions so far? We talked a lot about this. Any questions?
Please, if anyone have a question, to send it via comment.
Don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. If I know, I will definitely answer. And if you are feeling shy, you can also reach out to me too. So that's something.
Yeah. There anyone want to learn? There's no way to be shy. You want to learn. You want to dive in the knowledge. Yeah, it's this your chance.
So ask away.
Yeah.
Okay, we are almost there if you don't have any questions. So we are going to now shift to the next part of this session, which is what makes it so interesting these days, right? So there is a huge hype of AI everywhere. AI is everywhere right now in the market. So, does anybody know what is AI? So, if
I want to answer this question. It's the new star for this part of the, let's say, of the century. The research is about AI. All everything is developed to be fit for AI development, AI area. So yeah, it's the trend for this. For, the trend now it's AI and the development, and you have to be aware what it's AI and
yeah.
what
So
yeah,
understand that in this information technology era, this is a huge shift. Understand
yeah,
that AI is a science of making things smarter.
yeah,
You are building systems that can perform tasks without any human intervention, right?
yeah. It's the future,
This is the future of
right?
everything. So now, if oh my god, I don't know where that thing went. I don't know. So what is AI? When we talk about AI, there's also relate. There is a confusion that people kind of they know what is AI, but then they don't know what is ML. They don't know what is the deep learning. Understand that artificial intelligence is the process of making systems intelligent, but then machine learning is a subset of it. But you for AI to be more successful, you need to create a machine learning models, and then where you can train your data, and then you know it can probably give you, if I tell you an example, for example, if you're using search, first time you're using, search engine, it just kind of understands you automatically, it gives you certain things. And then if you are using AI in social media, if you have used WhatsApp, Instagram, anything these days, you will see Meta AI. It says that ask anything, ask or search, right? It's in social media app these days. And then you also see this. I picked it up from Amazon yesterday night. So if you see, Amazon is trying to build how it kinds of smartly sees what is your shopping, pattern, right? And then based on that, it says it will, this one is particularly, I think it's called as Rufus. It's built in Amazon, and then I saw this last night, so I thought it would be fun. So as and when it sees what is your shopping pattern, it automatically gives you all those recommendation deals, everything at the top, right? So is Netflix. If you just understand, they're using some kind of algorithm to make what you were watching, it just gives you. So is YouTube. There's something that is there, but not specifically that we know, but they are training these data with what you're watching, what is your shopping, or what is your song. Even Spotify has something similar. So understand that it takes in all your information. Based on that, it kinds of, over time, it gives you amazing results. But then you become the data for it to get trained too. There are different things in machine learning. There's how the data is being processed. It could be supervised or unsupervised. I'm not going to be talking much into machine learning, but that's something that you can learn too. So uh, does this looks familiar? Anyone? So how many people have used Gemini? Gemini. Why? Have you ever asked anything in Gemini? I use it. I use it. Okay, I use this and another text-based chat. I use ChatGPT too, but there are
Yeah,
some things it is good. But then Gemini used to be called as Bard. It's used. One thing is it's free. So this is something given by Google, right? When
yeah,
it comes from Google, yeah. So what? So for what it's used, right? And why is it used? So it is a multi-model. understand that it is a multi-model. It can do reasoning, code generation. If you go to Gemini or Bart, whatever. I still call it Bart because it's easier for me to remember. So if you go and ask it, it'll tell you exactly, and it'll also generate code for you. There are times that you could do language transition if you are trying something. And
Deepa,
main,
actually,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry for interrupted you, but Gemini, it's really a huge
It's a
era in Google. Yeah, there's a very big search. There's very big development inside it. The last event, as you know, we see like the are you connected? It's a lot of thing about Gemini.
yeah,
Uh, the they describe the big development and the big revolution inside Gemini to make it fit for everything.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, for analyze image and a lot of things. It's really
Yeah,
helpful tools. Yeah.
mainly used for productivity tools. You can use it as workspace assistant, for writing. If you have seen Google I/O this year, you would see how you can write emails. It can also give you amazing, if you are looking for, hey, I'm going to Japan, right? And give me a 10-day itinerary, it would do that for you. And you can search extensively. Understand that Google has already built a search engine years back. So for that, it's very easy to use those data and then create multi-model. There's a lot to it here. If and I'm talking about Gemini, there's too much information to it. I'm just scraping the surface of it. So this because these are two different huge technologies we are trying to cram it in a 50-minute talk, right? So understand that it can be used for search productivity tools. Like I said, if you're creating a product based, if you're creating a clothing store, right? And based on that, you can add AI, like how Amazon has done it, or you can add chatbot availability. If you are using a banking application, there are some assistants there to help you as well. So Byte extensively used, but then it's mainly for, we are just going to see how we can generate text-based stuff in this demo in a moment, right? So this, I picked it up from Stack Overflow this year. See, understand that this is, if you go to this website and check for Stack Overflow developer AI search and developer tools, you would see there's quite a chunk. People are catching up with Google Gemini, but the huge support is there for ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, because engineers like to use Copilot. That's another thing. But understand that the thing that the arcs that are going around, they could combine these two too. So if you go ahead and take a look at this particular website, you would know how people are using it. So understand, at least this is the beginning of everything. People are using AI to for different things, right? So that's another thing. And then here, okay, before we start, I want to share. I have to stop my screen. This is one thing. I have to present a share screen. Let's do this. I'm going to do entire window. I'm so sorry, guys. You have to deal with it. Okay, so here is, if you go to aistudio.google.com, I'm already logged in. And then if you, okay, before I go, I just have to make sure that I click on the right space here. Where's this thing? Come on, go here. So, oh yeah, it's the right thing I did. If you go to, there's a document. Oh yeah, here's the documentation if you want to. There's a lot, right? So if you see, this is Gemini is one, there's Gemma, there's Vertex AI, there's a lot of stuff. So let's focus only on one of the things today. So you can get an API key. What it does allow you to do is it can allow you to use the Gemini API inside of your project. So I have it here. I'm signed in, I've generated two, but then how do you get it? You have to go here. It says get API. I already have it. So if you say create API, for me at AI, you have to do the terms and conditions, and then it'll ask you. So I have two of them. One is running this Angular Gemini, the other one is React 1.2. So I've tried to play with different frameworks too. So this is how you would use. Hopefully, I'm going to stop my sharing my screen. Hang on. Oh my God. Okay. StreamYard. Come
Yeah,
on.
actually, if we can talk about Google offering lab,
Mm-hmm.
you can pay not too much money to start in this lab. After that, you can get credit to start
Yeah.
and yeah, get your development way. So yeah, it's
Uh,
very helpful way and very easy way to connect with really expert developer in this field.
yeah, I did a no, AI event a month, I think 3 weeks ago. I got credit from the team, and then what they did was we had a workshop where if you reach out to as an organizer, if you reach out to the cloud team, and then there is a form that you have to fill in, and they give you credit for 6 months, so you can try it out. That's what that's something that you can use not only Gemini, you can also use Vertex AI. I think there was also a code lab this week, right, Mona, by Angular team. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
something you can explore
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
attend at the event. It's really amazing to have event and to hands on the code with really expert and Googler developer. So
mhm.
yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, you can start off. This is the thing, and oh no, I have to show you the demo now. Okay, let's stop this, and then okay, let's do the whole entire window. I don't have patience right now. So this is the demo that I created. Let's try to restart it. So for example, where is my thing? This is the basic Angular app. Then there should be one more here. Oh yeah, this is the Gemini app. So if you see here, I have this GitHub. If it's just very similar, we talked about. Let's start off with the config.file. Here, I've not used anything. It just says app.routes. If you see the routes, it does not take you anywhere. So, but then here we are mainly using the component wise. If you see, we are using the component decorator, and inside of this class, you know how to use a service. If you know JavaScript, this should be very familiar. And then also it's an async. It sends the data and then it loads the data. Here is a couple of there's a async function here for sending the data to the Gemini service, whatever question that you're posting it. I think we are about time, so let me go through this. And then here's what the HTML looks like. If you see here, we are using the directive here, and then there here, if you see, this is the header, and then inside this chat history is the main class here. Then inside this container, you would see two tags here, right? There's one for the question itself, and the other one is for the response. So whenever the whatever question that you're posting, if it's loading it, you're just using this directive and say that, hey, you're loading this page, right? And then it prompts you. So let's take a quick look at this. So this is how this app looks. If you see here, again, it takes the app root, and this is the header of this. Then if I say, this is a very simple application, guys. So if I say, what is Angular? And then I tested this extensively. So if you see here, this is what it's doing. This is one of the containers. And then this is for the ng. From the ng4, it shows that loading icon. And then here is your stuff. If you see here, it's pulling up everything. Where's my network? Okay, hopefully it's there. So if you see here, it's taking the service and then it's routing it from here. If you see from where it is exactly getting the And if you don't have it also, oh yeah, one more thing that I wanted to show is inside of your Gemini, right? This is the service call that we are making. So like I said, when you want to make a service call, you use injectable, and then here's a class that you export. And then if you see here, I've added this API key. Please do not expose it. And that's something that I wanted to, the moment you generate it, you will see it on, this is where you will get the API. If once you say create API, either you can run a curl command, or if you just have to plug in that API key. Don't worry, I'm going to delete this thing right after this, so you cannot use my API key. So don't leave it or push it to GitHub. This is where you would add your the API key here. And then if you go ahead and see, this is how it looks. And if I say, I was just testing this yesterday, so let's give it, ask me a question, Mana. Let's see if it can pick it up. What
Okay.
is, yeah.
What is the best way to learn Angular and
Yes.
yeah, in 1 month?
Learn Angular, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to say, oh, look at the last document, right? So, oh, there's one thing, guys. If you go there, they have totally, see, it's an official thing. This is all very, you can go style it. I didn't have the time to do it. But then if you want to go take this, pull this repo, style it, make it, beautify it the way you want it to. But then it does give official website. I know it go to the Angular official tutorial, right? If you go here, they totally changed this thing. I'm not sure if you go here. Oh yeah, this is really beautiful. If you go to, not, this is not the one. The latest one is, I saw something else. Learn Angular. Oh, this is the new document. Don't go with the, oh no, I think I messed up. This is the one. Where is this getting started? Hopefully it is there. Okay, angular.dev. Oh yeah, this is the one, guys. So I'm going to put this thing in the chat. So if you go here, you can, if you see here in the docs, it gives you beautiful step-by-step. So if you go here, installation, how to do this, how do you create component? We did not talk about states or how do we use conditionals and loops here, but then you can add states to this. You can, how do you define state? We did not talk about a lot of stuff. There are hooks, there are what is a component lifecycle and all those things, but we can definitely talk about it in another session if you guys are open with it. So understand this, and this is, you can go ahead and take a look at this documentation. It's really, really good. And if you go here, I think, where was this? No, even before this. So there is one more. If you go here, right, it gives you step by step. What is the anatomy, right? It gives you this. It gives you view. They revamped this whole thing. It looks beautiful, but you can go try it out. And it does take time, but then it loads up eventually. So this is something that you can take advantage to. So I think that's, oh yeah, do not put your GitHub keys. And then what else? What else do I have here? And then this is, you can check it out. My GitHub repo, just go Google it. It's the very first project that you would see, repo that you would see on Angular Gemini demo. You can pull it up. And if you're interested, if you want to, I know this is from the Google Cloud team, how they have used AI with Angular. This is also something that you can take a look at it. I can provide you this information, or you can also Google it. It's an open source Medium blog. You can build it. And there's also a new code lab that came in this week. I can add it to the slides and send it to you, Mona, that as well. So where the Angular team used Vertex AI to build an Angular application. How do you use Cloud Run to? It's a very, if you know something as a full stack developer, if you are familiar with cloud concepts, but it's a beginner level too. So To summarize, we covered a lot today. So you need to know, we started about how you have to install Node first, how do you install Angular, and then we talked about components, how do you bind data binding two-way, and then directive is nothing but you're beautifying the house. And then we talked about a little bit about the dependency injection, where you use the injector decorator. We talked about what is Gemini. It's everywhere, right? So how do you get the API key, and how do you install this package? I think I did not say that, but then if you run npm this particular Google generative AI, but it comes with it. If you pull up my repo, if you say npm install, it'll automatically give all these packages for you. So that's something that we did. And then how do you use it in Angular? We saw that. And I think that's about it. I think we have come to the end of the session. So we can say that it's Angular and Gemini is match made in heaven, or where we live is Earth. And I think, where is this thing? Come on. Okay. This is me again, Deepa. You can connect with me, follow me on LinkedIn. Please scan this QR code. You have to, if you want to connect with me, you have to click those three dots to connect with me. Otherwise, you can follow too. And thank you so much for your time. And yeah, if there are any questions, please ask away.
Yeah, it's amazing and inspiring session. Really, thank you, Deepa. Really, it's
It was
um,
it was
yeah, yeah,
too
yeah.
much of information in 50 minutes.
No,
You should.
no, no. Exceed my expectation. It's very good. It's very inspiring, really. I want to ask you and discuss with you about little bit things. Angular, it's when I see the code, it's implement look like React. If you know React, you can implement and work with Angular so easy, right?
I would say that if you are working, I started off with Angular JS. Don't take me wrong,
Yeah,
it's JS. So
yeah,
it was. Then when I moved to React, it was super easy for me.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
don't
I
have
see.
to, it's very easy if you are moving, and if you are using React, for you to go back to Angular with with the syntax, it's little bit of a learning curve. It's not super easy. It's not, but then if you practice it, anything comes with practice. When you once you
Yeah, yeah.
start seeing it, I'm not
Amazing.
an Angular developer by any chance, so I would say that I've used Angular JS for sure. But then when I moved to React, I found it very very easy for me to catch up on that, because JavaScript is something that, if you, again, it depends on the preference or where you're working, and it's
Yeah,
easily learnable. I think any tool, for that matter, if you know one tool very well, you can transfer this thing. You would get it. Oh yeah, this is what it was in React. Oh, this is what it is. The one thing is, you understand that when you're Angular is not for everybody, right? It's not for standalone or a static web application. It's for
yeah,
huge projects. And then if you take, there are things that they do say that it's, if you are using microservices pattern, um, in that case it becomes a little tricky. And then another thing is search engine optimization could be a little challenging with Angular over React too. So again, it's what are you building, right?
yeah.
And
Really, right. Yeah,
if you're going to learn something, I would say it will be a bit of a learning curve for you to begin with. I would say start with React and then slowly move to this. So
yeah,
that's something. Again, Angular jobs per se, if you see, there is also a website where you can just Google it, Google Trends, Angular jobs. And if you see that, it varies depending on the geographic locations too. See,
uh-huh.
I live in a place where Angular is also found, React is also found, Android is also found, and iOS is also found. So it's really hard for me to say. Jobs are there, here and there, for sure, for every
Yeah,
technology. So it depends on where you live as well. So if you want to master it, there are a lot of people. Of course, Mark puts on a lot of content, and there's this one guy from Angular team. I forgot his name. His name starts with M. Also, if you go follow him,
Mark?
he's a Mark Thompson is the guy who did the code labs this week.
Yeah.
And then there's one more person. I think. Just give me a moment. I will figure out his name. His name is. He is on my LinkedIn too. I can pass it on. His name is something with. Wait, Angular 18. He posted something on best practices or something like that on Medium too. I don't have his name on. I think this is the one. Oh yeah, this is the guy, Minko. I forgot his name. So if you see here, he posts amazing stuff too. So I really enjoy his talks, and then if you this is Minko,
Yeah, I'll
and
share it, your
this is what
screen.
Minko, and then he posts everything. So if you see,
Yeah,
he's a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So follow him, and then there's one guy also, Mark. What is his thing? I
Yeah,
think
Miko,
he's.
I think he was the with Mark this week, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
he was Mark.
Yeah,
So that is Mark. And then if you see, I hope I don't use Twitter, so please don't quote me on that. But if you go to Angular, what was the? I think it should be still here. I'm not
yeah.
seeing it.
Actually, there's a very big
Community.
community. Yeah, for
Yeah, there's
for
very big community.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
you
if you
if
see
you
Mark,
use the
oh yeah.
Discord, their Angular community, actually the uh, directed with Google Developer, it's very helpful. They shared a lot of video for Angular on Twitter. There is a
Uh-huh.
community, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
and also,
yeah,
if you're Angular, I have a lot of friends, I know a lot of GDEs who the
yeah,
very first talk that I gave was in Angular KC, Kansas
mm,
City. So if you go here, there's also if you check for what I think they changed it as Tech Nation. I guess it used to be called as Angular Nation before, but then they changed it to Tech Stack Nation. This is also full of Angular developers. So if you're looking to speak, Bonnie is a Google developer expert. She's been an expert for a very long time. There's Bonnie in there. Who else? Alisa Duncan, and then still thinking. There is Deborah. She was my mentor for when I was in the WDA program. Women Developer Academy program. If you are a woman tech makers, please sign up. There are some AI events coming up. Please do sign up and take advantage of this. There's a lot of
yeah,
there is a women. If you ever see Women Developer Academy coming in your area, sign up for it. It's the best source. I got my very first platform to speak or to I never was if you see, I have a background from food and nutrition. So imagine me coming to tech world, and I was a tester for a very long time. I was not very confident in even saying things in tech. So I think Google gave me the platform
yeah,
to the Women Developer Academy gave me the platform to speak, and that confidence started coming in once I started
yeah,
talking to more women, talking, networking with people. And if you can do events takes a lot of time, and if you don't have much people around to help you, but if you have a team, that's great. Otherwise, do online stuff like this. So that's where you start.
yeah,
You need to start somewhere, and this is the best
yeah.
platform resource
Yeah,
available.
and where we here to have discussion like this to speak about something you are really inspiring. Yeah, there's where you can build your strength, build
Mhm.
your confidence. So yeah,
Mhm.
fake it until you make it. So yeah, I believe in this.
No,
Talk
no, I
about
don't.
something.
See, it's not faking it. There is a. I don't know if you have attended I'm Remarkable program. It's like you're not faking it. You're talking facts. So people say
Yeah,
that it's not a brag. It's a fact. So I don't know a lot of stuff, right? So for me, if you ask me, I'm being honest here. I am not using Angular day in and day out, but I know what
yeah,
is it, and I can
yeah,
basically talk about it at least for the beginner level for sure.
yeah,
But then if it goes into advanced concepts, maybe I might not be able to. I would be honest with you and say that. But if I have to do it for my real job, I would definitely
yeah,
do it, right? So
yeah, yeah,
it's
right.
it's not something it's just that how you are going to this is the platform. So women tech makers is the platform, guys. I would say that please sign up, become a member, become an ambassador. Try to there's a lot of gap in this field. If you see, I was talking about it in Cloud Next. There's less than 15% in the US. I'm not if you take it globally, it's even worse, right? So
Yeah,
it's hard, and there's a gender gap, there's a pay gap, there's a
yeah,
lot of things that we can talk about it. But make use of this forum, take advantage. One thing what Google does is for Women Tech Makers Ambassador, we get a lot of free tutorials, videos, and then there's if you
good
ever want to
resource.
become, yeah, if you want
Yeah,
to become an expert, I became an expert last year,
yeah,
2023 March. So it's
yeah.
but
Lovely.
I was I became an expert not knowing that I would become. So I was just giving talks because I enjoy doing it. Teaching was something that I'm very passionate about. So I did not know how to put my teaching skills into tech. So that's when Women Tech Makers Ambassador happened. And then, no, the WDA program gave me a chance. And then I was like, okay, I should do this more. I should do this more.
Yeah,
So I still do it. I do it not only for GDG, but I also talk a lot about JavaScript. I go to Geekle. And if you want to speak, reach out. No, there is no shame in
right.
asking. Reach out to organizers, say that, hey, I'm interested in speaking. Worst case,
Yeah,
they would say no. That's okay. But you still reached out. You keep knocking, someday the doors will open,
yeah. Right,
right?
right. Diba, I want to add something. When I say fake it until you make it, we, especially for us women, we afraid about what people can say about us, what they expected from us. So we
Mhm.
have this, yeah, brief thought about when we start a job in tech. We discussed this on Women Tech about how we can prepare for interview. So don't be afraid, talk
Yeah.
about what you know, what
No, yeah,
you,
sure.
yeah, what you learn. Take the resource, even if you are women tech ambassador or you are already on the GDG community, you can, or you are not on this, we encourage you to go and see YouTube videos, help you, ask the Gemini that can help you and offer for you good resource for what, where you can start it. After this you can build knowledge, you can build uh, good experience, you can go from that, but you have to start.
The thing is, see, I go speak in conferences. There are times that, see, even today when I was saying, "Hey guys, I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. I don't remember every single thing, so I have to do my notes." There's no harm in saying that. And if you don't know something, there are times
Yeah,
that I don't know. I said, honestly, I said I don't know, but I can barely look it up, and they'll definitely reach
really,
out
yeah,
to me. Or I will ask their contact and then reach out back to them, because this is something that I am really passionate about. Teaching is something that I really love doing it. And because I'm a PhD dropout, so in my own field, so I
yeah,
was academically, I came here and then tried to do my PhD, did not happen, so I dropped out, moved into tech. So long story short, passion teaching is something that's still in there. So,
yeah,
and I try to make it whatever your skill set are. Mine is speaking, mine is I know how to present the content. But if you're a writer, go write it. Or if you, and I'm not a video content person at all. There are people who do TikTok, Instagram. I
yeah,
I don't even follow me in Instagram because
yeah,
I put my food videos there. So it's something. What is your strength? Pick up your strength. I tried everything. The beginning of 2021, 22, I tried writing. If you go see my blogs, from where I was to where I am. I think I've not written, writing is not my strength, or it is my strength too, but then I have to spend a lot of time. I'm not a native speaker. English does not flow through my brain right away, so I have to think. I'm like,
Yeah.
today I know that when I was saying directive, I said direct. So, I did not say it right the first couple of times. I was like, is it directive? What does it think of this? So
Yeah.
it does not come right away, because when we are thinking, it's just doesn't flow through too. So it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, but start
Right.
somewhere. Start
Yeah.
somewhere.
Right.
You will make mistakes. You will learn it on the go, and one day you will become an amazing writer, content creator, or a speaker, or an event organizer, right? So it's
Right.
just that how take me as an example. I'm a zero. I started with zero. So I have done about 50 events. I
Right.
have about 1,000 people in my chapter. I did a lot of events too. So I did event management stuff. I did not know anything to begin with. I tried it. It works for me. I enjoy interacting with people, and what I enjoy is sharing knowledge. I don't speak in my own chapter, but at the same time, I bring in different people to speak, and then it gives me at least how these people are speaking. Last time we had
Yeah.
amazing workshop by by ML experts. It is inspiring to see such people connect with people. If you want to go places, it's how you connect.
Yeah. Really, it's really amazing, amazing, Diba. Again, it's very inspiring word. Um, every person in each country, especially women, have really struggled with a lot of things passed in her community. Your speech is really give me a light because yeah, I'm through a lot of things. But you, when I hear you and hear a lot another women stories about their journey and how become their expert, it's like no, you can do it and you can
Oh
push
yeah, it's
again.
very easy.
And yeah, it's
It's
easy, really.
very easy. You just have to be good at consistently doing
Yeah,
something. You know,
yeah,
that's something.
really, it's true.
Either we're doing an event or a blog or a talk
Yeah,
like this, so stick to it. So do something
really,
and stick to it, and when you start doing it, you will start enjoying it as well. So
yeah,
this is my personal interest. I don't know about you, but then I'm a big talker, so it's just that it comes to me naturally. I can connect with people, but at the same time,
yeah,
I also get nervous. I do get nervous. This forum, this platform is easier for me. Any GDG, any WTM, platform is like home. I can speak my mind.
yeah,
If I'm wrong, I'll tell them, hey, I know. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Don't
yeah,
hesitate to say this. But I can go and say the same thing in a conference. It's a new set of people. It's totally new, and where I do get nervous. It's not that for me, going in front of people is very easier rather than this video thing, because see, we have to do this demo,
yeah,
swap this thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's something that is not I'm still getting a hang of it. Like you can see, I'm
yeah.
struggling to even swap the thing.
But
So
yeah, you did it in really, really in a lovely way, and how yeah, it's really
it,
inspiring word, really, Diba.
anybody wants to become anything, just if you guys need any help, let me know. I'm connected with a lot of people. If you want to become an Angular expert, reach out to me. I know people who can help you, guide you. If you want to become an MLAI expert, again, try to reach out to me. I will tell you. And then there are people whom I know that they are. You have to ask. I Before I submitted my GDE application, I reached out to I got my application reviewed by at least 11 people.
Wow,
11
wow,
people. I reached out to unknown persons that I have never met. I said, hey, can you take a look at it? do you have 15 minutes? I just asked them 15 minutes of their time on a Friday mid morning. So it's like at
Yeah.
12 o'clock on a Friday, people between noon, people are free, they're kind of winding down. So I asked them, hey, it's just going to be taking 15 minutes of your time. Can you please tell me how am I doing it right? Do you think my application is looks good? So I not everybody gets it in the very first shot. I'm not
Yeah.
bragging, but I did all my homework. I did my
Yeah.
homework. I talked to not only web technology GDEs, but I also reached out to Angular, Flutter, MLAI, whoever it is. I have no shame in asking people for help.
Yeah. No, it's
So
nothing. Really, yeah. You have to you have to start.
you
Yeah,
have to
so
start.
you can find, yeah. So can you can find the way. It's really amazing, Diba. Really amazing. And really I'm for to talk about me personally, I'm really inspiring from each word you say. It's really for me it's really like a gold medal for the end of the day for me to have chat with you, to have you here, to listen about really it's big journey. And yeah,
It was not
it's
easy. It was not built on a day.
not
It took
easy.
me about 15 years.
I guarantee you 100% it's not easy, but with all hard work you get the experience, you get yeah the way to speak on all of this. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and remember, all of you, whoever it is, who are listening to this, it's not a brag. It is the fact that whatever you have done so far,
Yeah.
personally, I think that we can pick up any skills. Anybody can pick up any skills. It's just
Yeah.
that how consistently you're doing it. That's where you stand out and make yourself visible. Even if you make mistakes, even if you fumble, even if I'm not an English speaker, I speak three different languages and I
You will get
struggle with
there.
words. So I remember the very first time I could not say components, I was saying components. So I was making mistakes. So I was like, my hairstylist told me, Deepa, it's not components, it's components. I'm like, oh, okay. So I love it. So it's just
Oh,
for me, I still think it in my language, and then when I speak, I just speak that way. So it's no wrong if people understand. Don't feel shy. It's okay to make mistakes. You fall
right.
down, you'll get probably
You
what
will learn.
you'll get bad comments. That's okay. Criticisms are good or bad. It's always good for you to grow to the next level.
Yeah, at the end of the way, the road, you will learn and you will get this experience. Amazing, Diba. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
will
you.
share all the information to you, and then I'll
Yeah,
also post it on LinkedIn if you want me to. Otherwise, I'll share it with you, Mona. The slides,
no
my
problem.
GitHub, whatever that I've used, everything is there. I think I didn't share the last screen, which had all the references that I had. So I'm going to put everything and send it to you. If you want to send it out, send it during the newsletter to people so that they can see. I will host the slides on Netlify and then put it
Sure,
send it.
sure,
Okay.
sure. No
Have
problem. Thank you so
a
much.
wonderful Friday. Is Friday? It's a holiday for you or working day?
Now it's holiday.
It's holiday, so enjoy your day. Have
Thank
a
you so much.
nice day and keep growing. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
me
much.
here. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Diba. Bye. Thank you, Diba. Thank you for all who watch this the fast. It's amazing. We start with amazing Diba. It's really talk about inspiring things. For all people see out there, please start from something you love it. As Diba say, you will at the end you will find the way, you will get the experience. Even you get wrong, it's no problem. You have to start and you have to try it by yourself. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yourself and
Yeah,
please reach out to me if you need any help. Please ping me. I'm very active in LinkedIn. Don't ping me in Twitter. I will not even see it. I am on Instagram, but I post food videos. So it's just that if you ping me on LinkedIn, I will respond to you right away. Okay.
thank you so much, Diba.
Thank you so
Thank you
much. You
for
have a
all
wonderful
out
day. Bye
there.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you,